You guys know if you watch my channel, I basically never talk bad about products. If there's a product that I even have a feeling that I'm not gonna really love, I won't even film a video on it because I'm like, I don't wanna say it. Like, I just don't like talking bad about things that people have worked really hard on. But I'm just saying in general, you guys, this is not a product that I would release myself. I would definitely be like, no, this needs to go back to the lab. We need to work a little bit harder on this. All right, let's just keep it moving. Since we just did nude AF, let's do as if, because this is equally as nude, but it is a, oh my gosh, what is on there? Oh my gosh, what is on there? Oh my gosh, what is on there? It is a, sorry, this is my personal collection I'm using right now.
Sure, Jan.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the drama that ensued since my last video. What set this all into motion again was when JACLYN Hill told her most absurd lie to date, and when Kevin James Bennett exposed the lab who was possibly behind the creation of her lipsticks due to a bad reputation they allegedly have in the beauty industry as a result of constant quality control issues. I will not be naming this lab at all for the time being for obvious reasons. If there is some teeny tiny chance that they did not make the lipsticks, I could of course get into serious trouble. I did say on Twitter the other night that I was holding off on this video due to some information uncovered, but the lab threw a wrench into that with the post that they made over on Instagram, which is of a photo of lipsticks and says, "To those who asked, no, we did not make the JACLYN Cosmetics lipsticks," and the description says there is no tea to spill at JACLYN Hill. Time will tell with that one, of course. You know, if a customer at a restaurant discovered a foreign object in the food that they were eating, the restaurant would get temporarily shut down while the investigation was conducted, if not permanently. As for why the FDA doesn't keep the same energy with the beauty industry, I have no idea, however I hope that changes someday. Anyway, on to all the tea. On Saturday, JACLYN sent out these tweets. "My team and I are working very hard to find out exactly what is causing the grittiness and bumpy texture on some of my lipsticks. I'm so sorry to see some of you dissatisfied with my product. I will make it right for you and learn from this mistake, that is a promise. Also, I have apologized to that first girl who tweeted me about her lipstick not being perfect." This was referring to the girl that she humiliated that I discussed in my previous video. Anyway, continuing on with her tweet. "I reacted very unprofessionally and that's never my intention. I always want you guys to be comfortable sharing your concerns with me." By the way, JACLYN referring to her as that first girl doesn't sit right with me. Also on the same day, Raw Beauty Christy tweeted out a photo of her defective lipstick and said, "All I can say is WTF." As if JACLYN's many lies couldn't get more absurd, she quote tweeted Christy and said perhaps what is her most ridiculous lie to date. "If any of you are receiving lipsticks like this, please know that it is not my hair. The factory used brand new white gloves to do quality control and they shed all over my product. We switched to rubber gloves 2 days ago and we'll make sure this never happens again." What else is absolutely ridiculous about all this? What kind of lab uses gloves that shed all over products? They are not using paper or cloth gloves that could potentially contaminate everything and cause a whole host of issues. She also made some very interesting responses to some people on Twitter that were talking about this tweet, and this could potentially get her into trouble if she was telling the truth. However, it's hard to tell with her, so as always, the jury is out with that one. Someone tweeted to JACLYN and said this. "So you knew it was an issue is what you just said." JACLYN responded to her and said, "Yes, I was made aware of this when I started seeing people's photos 2 days ago, and I've been working quickly to get things fixed." Another person responded to JACLYN and said 2 out of 4 of my lipsticks had these fibers. They are all gritty now the more I use them. I'm so sad. I was so in love with Isla. I wanted to use it forever because it was my exact lip shade but better. Now I don't know if they are safe to use." JACLYN replied and said they are 100% safe and made in one of the best labs in the USA. "This is embarrassing and infuriating that you are experiencing this. Email help@jaclyncosmetics.com and I will give you a refund and replace them for you." As for the third and final interaction that occurred between JACLYN Hill and a fan, they said this. Question, "You knew this shed all over your product and still sent it out?" JACLYN responded and said, "Of course I didn't know. This didn't happen until we started making hundreds of thousands and I had no idea." First of all, did JACLYN really claim these are 100% safe because they were made in one of the best labs? I'm sorry, but a lab that has any merit or cares about their products would not botch a batch of lipsticks this poorly. Secondly, in these interactions, JACLYN also admitted to selling products she knew were defective for the past few days. That's scary, and I am sure these tweets will come back to haunt her. Regarding all that, I saw a comment from Jen Gerard, the CEO and founder of KOOL Cosmetics, left under Smoky Glow's video, and I will link her video down below. Anyway, Jen's comment reads, "As a brand owner, most of us take our responsibility very seriously. I have just seen a tweet saying that it was discovered 2 days ago and that the hairs are from gloves used at the lab. I have never seen any lab use anything but latex or neoprene gloves. Even if it's from gloves, I'm floored that any brand would knowingly sell contaminated products even for 2 days. Extremely disturbing. Customers deserve the truth and to be protected from contamination." That was very telling indeed, because as I pointed out in my previous video, JACLYN was still selling lipsticks on her website despite all the issues that have been coming up with regards to her lipsticks. Okay, back to the tweets about the gloves, which I'm surprised she hasn't bothered deleting yet. Shortly after the aforementioned tweets, Kevin James Bennett, who was beyond furious, tweeted about this and said, "Just because you have me blocked doesn't mean that other people aren't going to send me screenshots of your lies. JACLYN Hill and JACLYN Cosmetics, this excuse is total and complete BS. Tell the folks at your lab I said so," and I had to censor the lab name because, as I said in the very beginning of my video, I am not revealing the name of this lab at all. At least in this part. And besides being unsanitary, please explain the cost effectiveness of wearing disposable cloth gloves. This is lying on a whole new level. Shame on you, JACLYN Hill and JACLYN Cosmetics. Yeah, JACLYN Hill, I'd be having an anxiety attack too if people were finally realizing how dishonest you're willing to be for money. My question is, when do we stop accepting BS excuses and convenient mental health issues used to give shady business practices a cover? In that last tweet, he was referring to JACLYN's Instagram stories where she made subtle hints about experiencing anxiety shortly after receiving the backlash over her tweet about the gloves. He said this because when Here for the Tea and Tea Spill were doing their JACLYN Hill series back in September 2018, JACLYN went onto Snapchat and said something similar. It's interesting how whenever she's about to get exposed, she does this. In a way, I can't blame her, but at the same time, maybe she wouldn't be experiencing so much anxiety if she stopped lying so much, saying and doing things that warrant several exposés by multiple YouTubers. Anyway, here's the aforementioned Instagram story that JACLYN recently sent out pertaining to the anxiety that she was experiencing. By the way, sorry for the obnoxious watermarks that I placed on the next 2 clips that I'm going to be playing. There's just a lot of kleptomaniacs out there that are too lazy to gather their own receipts, so they steal from other channels and don't bother giving credit.
So I actually ran upstairs because I have a bunch of people in my house right now downstairs, and I needed to come up here to have a moment alone because I started to feel very panicked. Like, I can't breathe, my throat got really tight. That's why I'm kind of like out of breath right now. This happens to me when I'm on my period. I get really bad anxiety every single time I'm on my period. And I was like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
In a moment, I'm going to be playing the clip from September 20th, 2018, where she discussed her anxiety. This Snapchat was 2 days after Here for the Tea and Tea Spill's first video of their series went live. While she did make it clear that she was talking about a video that she recently uploaded, then quickly took down, however, due to the popularity of the aforementioned series, many figured it out that JACLYN was also upset about the series about her. As a result, Here for the Tea and Tea Spill began to receive so much backlash, as well as a DM from Jeffree Star to T-Spill on September 24th. The DM was about JACLYN's safety being at risk caused by their series, so they decided to pull the plug on September 25th, and both of them moved on with their respective channels.
And I just want to say this, and I hope that this doesn't come across like as a victim mentality, because that's not it. It's not where I'm coming from at all. But as of recently, I feel like I really can't do much without being extremely criticized and looked down upon and scrutinized, and it just takes away the fun and the creativity and the motivation and the passion to do what I do. I'm not saying that it's your fault for the lack of content, absolutely not. I'm usually much better at like picking myself up, getting back on the horse, but there's just so much going on in my personal life right now that's just kind of like weakening me, and the beauty community is just up in flames right now, honestly. Like, there's a few people like Jeffree Star who are thriving harder than ever and like can do no wrong right now in people's eyes. And other than that, it's like I'm just on eggshells and like constantly like, watching my back, and I feel like I have to like change who I am to like make you guys happy, and it's like kind of like messing like with my psyche at this point. Honestly, I'm just venting at this point, I guess, just talking to you guys like friends and just keeping it real, you know. I just don't want to disappoint you guys, and recently I feel like that's all I'm doing, and that kills me. It breaks my heart. I hate just disappointing one of my friends, you know, or letting one family member down. And I really, really value my relationship with my subscribers, and so when I feel like I have done something to like mess up or let you guys down, like, it keeps me awake at night. It kills me. Like, kills me. Again, I'm not going to tell stories to be like, oh, poor me, I'm over here crying.
Needless to say, the aforementioned lies about the gloves shedding spawned a bunch of memes, because it was that absurd. Anyway, I tweeted about the gloves and I said this. I attached the screenshot of JACLYN's tweet about the gloves shedding, and I said, girl, buy another lie. Marlene Estelle responded to me with a series of tweets, and she said, I'm going to get scorched for speaking out. What the F lab has ever used furry gloves? In my 11 years, I've never once seen furry gloves on the production floor. And why is that hair so damn long? If it was a furry glove, it would have been very slight fuzz, and it's embedded in the lipstick. Alright, I'm going to say it. I lost respect, not because I got financially screwed from Lost Collab. I was cool and moved on until lies like this crap became regular. Enough is enough. Paying customers deserve the truth. Zadi Doll responded to Marlena and said, I'm not buying the white gloves were used for quality control rather than plastic gloves. I really wish the FDA would speak up. Marlena Estelle, Kevin James Bennett, do manufacturers in the US use white, presumably cotton fabric gloves to quality control products? To which Marlena responded, I've walked so many production floors and have never once seen furry gloves. It's always latex ones I've seen. Kevin, how about you? You've been in more labs than me even. Someone else responded to Marlena and said, it breaks my heart because I looked up to her so much as a young girl. She's why I started makeup. She taught me all about the basics. I just wanted her to be so much better than this. Marlena responded and said, me too. I was such a supporter and truly loved her and wanted her to succeed, still do. But I can't sit back with the blatant lies anymore. I've kept my mouth quiet for years now. Marlena then followed up her other tweets and said, oh, and lipsticks are never to be touched on the lipstick itself, so still a contamination issue. Stop effing lying already. I'm so pissed. This is people's sanitation at risk. Sorry I cursed, so mad, and I was really staying hopeful that this would have been handled differently than the past, but it still lies, so I've given up on anything changing. After all this went down, it wasn't long before many people remembered the video posted on her company's webpage on May 30th where she showed footage of herself in the lab that she used, obviously not wearing the notorious white cloth gloves, but instead wearing blue rubber gloves. Here are some examples of tweets that people sent out. One person said, switched 2 days ago, huh? These pics say otherwise, milady. And she attached 4 screenshots of the aforementioned video of JACLYN Hill wearing the blue gloves while swatching her lipsticks. Nick Snyder from The Viewer's Voice tweeted and said, add JACLYN Hill to the list of influencers with a crappy team that only makes them look worse. Girl, you switched 2 days ago? And then he attached 2 screenshots, one screenshot being of JACLYN wearing the blue gloves while swatching her lipsticks, and the other one of her doing something gross, which is wearing the gloves, the hairnet, and touching her mouth while looking in the mirror. I also tweeted about this where I noticed one of the employees behind JACLYN also wearing the same blue gloves. I said I'm archiving JACLYN's webpage and came across some very interesting tea. Clocked the employee in the back wearing very obviously fur-free gloves. And then Galaxy Minx, a member of the Viper Chicks collective who also did a series on JACLYN Hill, pointed out something even more alarming, and that in another portion of the video on JACLYN's company's website, there was someone working behind JACLYN not even wearing gloves. Galaxy replied to me and said, "And did you see this one where the employee in the back is not wearing any gloves at all?" And then she attached a screenshot of the employee. As with all of my videos pertaining to JACLYN Hill, I will be linking their series down below. What these receipts tell me is that the lab that she used does not give a damn about quality control and proves to me without a doubt that they are responsible for what happened to her lipsticks, allegedly. Also, I thought about this quite a bit last night while doing my deep diving into the lab, and when I say a deep dive, I fell down the rabbit hole which caused this video to be delayed until today, and also caused this to be split into 2 parts. As I said in the beginning of my video, this lab cleverly put up a post to put a damper on things for the time being. It's also stupid at the same time because publicly denying this will come back to haunt them for sure. Anyway, that got me thinking, and please do not get mad and think that I am siding with JACLYN here because I am not by any means. But if she does a video about all of this, doing what she does best, which is throwing people under the bus, in a sense, this time it's sort of warranted due to the lab's horrible quality control. On the other hand, JACLYN knew damn well about these lipsticks being bad and most likely expired and still proceeded with selling them to the public. This is without a doubt a launch that was worse than John Cucking with his cosmetics line late in 2017. However, due to her popularity, the amount of outrage is comparable to the scandal in 2015 where Lime Crime had their massive security breach. Dustin Daly also pointed this out in his video, which will be linked down below. As you might remember, during that time, many beauty gurus, including JACLYN Hill, denounced Lime Crime and boycotted them.
For everyone asking me my opinion on Lime Crime and this whole sketchy business happening with them, I think that it is complete bullshit and I will no longer be buying any of their products from here on out.
Well, here we are in 2019, and the same thing is happening to JACLYN. As Rich Lux and I were talking about, it's usually us drama channels holding influencers and companies accountable. However, this time around, there is also beauty gurus holding JACLYN accountable by uploading videos about this. Most notably are the videos by That Girl Shay and Raw Beauty Christy, the latter which I will be talking about in part 2 because it ties into what I am going to be discussing. Anyway, that is it for this video. As always, let me know what you think about all of this down below. Take care, thank you for watching, and I will see you all soon.